Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I want to walk through how HR analytics can directly impact organizational performance, specifically through improving how we evaluate employee value and how we make hiring decisions. What I'll show is how data allows us to move from assumptions to measurable business impact. A lot of decisions in HR are traditionally based on experience or intuition, but what analytics allows us to do is quantify those decisions and connect them directly to financial outcomes. That shift is what turns HR into a strategic function rather than just a support function. What I want to start with is the bigger picture. From a business standpoint, HR decisions are not just administrative, they directly impact performance, costs, and long term value. The way we hire, evaluate, and retain employees influences productivity at both the individual and organizational level. For example, one strong hire doesn't just perform better, they often raise the performance of the people around them, reduce turnover risk, and contribute more over time. On the other side, a poor hire creates hidden costs like lower productivity, training inefficiencies, and potential turnover. HR analytics gives us the ability to connect these decisions to actual business outcomes instead of relying on intuition, which allows leaders to make more consistent and financially sound decisions. To evaluate employee value more precisely, I use the CREPID method. This approach breaks a job down into its key activities and assigns weight based on how often tasks are performed, how important they are, and how well the employee performs them. What makes this valuable is that it moves us away from treating performance as one overall rating. Instead, it shows us where value is actually being created within the role. For example, two employees could have the same overall rating, but one might be excelling in the most critical tasks while the other performs well in the less impactful areas. This method allows us to identify that difference. After applying this method, employees' total performance index came out to be about 1.19. When that is applied to their salary, it estimates their total economic value at approximately $107,000. What this tells us is that the employee is producing more value than their compensation, which is exactly what we want from a performance standpoint. More importantly, this gives us a measurable way to justify performance decisions, whether that's compensation, promotions, or development opportunities based on actual value rather than perception. The biggest takeaway here is that employee performance is not evenly distributed across tasks. Certain responsibilities drive significantly more value than others. This has a major implication. Instead of trying to improve everything equally, organizations can focus on the specific tasks that generate the most impact. That allows for more efficient use of time, training, and resources. In other words, small improvements in the right areas can create much larger overall performance gains than general improvements across everything. That being said, this method does have limitations. It relies on subjective evaluations, meaning the accuracy depends on how well supervisors assess performance. If those evaluations are inconsistent or biased, the results can be affected. Because of that, this method is most effective when combined with other data sources such as objective performance metrics or multiple evaluators. So while it provides strong insight, it should be used as part of a broader data driven decision making process rather than on its own. Shifting from performance evaluation to hiring decisions, I also analyzed the CAP test using a utility model. This model focuses on how improving selection accuracy translates into financial value. It uses factors like test validity, variability in job performance, selection ratios, and employee tenure to estimate how much better hiring decisions can impact the organization. What's important here is that hiring quality is not just a talent issue, it's a financial issue. The better the selection process, the more value each employee contributes over time. When we apply this model, the results are significant. The total value created through improved hiring decisions comes out to approximately $14.4 million. On an individual level, That translates to over $120,000 in value per employee and about $16,000 per year in added value. This is where HR decisions clearly become business decisions. What might seem like a small improvement in selection accuracy actually compounds over time across multiple hires, creating a very large financial impact. What this shows is that even small improvements in hiring accuracy can lead to massive financial returns. Hiring is not just about filling positions, it is a long term investment. Every hiring decision affects productivity, team performance, and future organizational outcomes. When organizations consistently bring in higher performing employees, they not only increase output but also reduce costs related to turnover, training, and underperformance. Over time, that creates a significant competitive advantage. Of course, this model also has limitations. Some inputs, like the standard deviation of job performance, are estimates rather than exact values. It also simplifies real world complexity since not every aspect of performance can be fully measured in financial terms. However, even with these limitations, the model provides a strong and practical framework for understanding how hiring decisions translate into measurable business value. Based on these findings, there are three key recommendations. First, continue investing in data driven hiring tools that improve selection accuracy. Second, use analytics to better evaluate where employee value is being created within roles so efforts can be focused on high impact areas. And third, align HR decisions more closely with overall business strategy. Taking these steps allows HR to move beyond a support role and become a direct driver of organizational performance, contributing measurable value to the organization.